How do you like it? How do you like it? What are you doing down here?
I just wanted to talk to you.
Okay, let's talk.
Alright, so here we go. It's an impromptu episode of the Mad Dad Movie Review, a podcast full of first-time movie reviews starring Mads and her dad.
I'm Mads.
And I'm the dad, and this is Mad Dad Movie Review. So yeah, today's my birthday. I turned 36.
Happy birthday.
Ah, thank you. I figured I woke up and I really wanted to watch The Shining. So I just wanted to cover this, wanted to watch it with you, wanted to introduce it to you. Went to Best Buy, picked up the 4K copy, watched it, and here we are now.
We were originally supposed to do Birds of Prey, but
that'll be next.
Yeah.
I promise. This like I said in the beginning, this is an impromptu episode. We weren't planning this. This was just my idea, spur of the moment. I kind of wanted to see the 4K transfer of this, and I'm so glad that I got that. I've never been happier with the look and sound of this movie before in my life. This is also the 40th anniversary this year, and it looks like it was filmed last year, this year. I mean, it could pass as a recent film. It just looks so great. So yes, we watched The Shining, released May 23rd, 1980 in the U.S., came out October 2nd, 1980 overseas in the UK from Warner Brothers Pictures. So this was directed by Stanley Kubrick, also produced by Stanley Kubrick, written for the screen by Stanley Kubrick and Diane Johnson. Cinematography by John Alcott, who also worked with Kubrick. He's a collaborator with four films, I think it was. Yeah, 2001, Clockwork Orange, Barry Lyndon, I'm pretty sure he did. I know he did Terror Train. I think that came out in 80 also. That was a slasher film with Jamie Lee Curtis. Beastmaster, and his last film was No Way Out because he unfortunately passed away. I think during production of that film, if I'm not mistaken. Music by Wendy Carlos and Rachel Elkind. And this one starring Jack Nicholson as Jack Torrance, Shelley Duvall as Wendy Torrance, Danny Lloyd as Danny Torrance, Scatman Crothers as Dick Halloran, Joe Turkel as Lloyd, and Lisa and Louise Burns as the Grady twins. So what'd you think? What did Mads think of this?
I liked it. I've heard already about it because the first thing I saw was Dr. Sleep before I saw The Shining, so you had to really tell me about it.
Yeah, it's worth noting you and I saw that in the theaters last fall, Doctor Strange, when that came out. I remember that.
I definitely heard a lot about it, so I knew some of the scenes already. So, but yeah, I liked it. It was definitely a movie I'll watch again.
Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, it's, and this, I guess this goes into the category why do I love this film. Going off of what I'm about to say, like, it's a movie I did not like growing up. I'm not gonna lie. My first time seeing this film, I was a teenager, 13, 14, and I didn't get it. But in hindsight, I just wasn't, I was just too young. I was still fresh, and I gave it a chance again last year, actually. This time last summer, I picked it up on Blu-ray and went back and revisited it, and just had this newfound love for it. Everything from the history behind it, the look, the feel, the acting, of course, is just all around. And the history alone of this movie. I know there's a documentary film called Room 237 that came out years back. And that's a whole full-length documentary on this thing. That's how much history this has. So yeah, it's The Shining. It's an iconic film, you know. So
Yeah.
so let's get into box office and stuff. I have numbers for that. What's that?
Should we do questions first?
No, hold on to that thought. I got that. That's coming up. I have that on this little itinerary I have written down for us. Because again, we're working things out. We're getting a feel for this. You know, in due time, we're gonna have everything down to a T. So we're just trying things. Things are working. Some things aren't. You know. So going to the box office for this one. It opened on 10 screens, again, May 23rd, 1980. Opened on 10 screens in New York and LA, and then it went wide about a month later. It opened up at number 3 against the Empire Strikes Back and the Gong Show movie. Wow. Opening weekend gross numbers 622,337. Total gross overall 46.2 million. This had a budget of 19 million. Overall, this thing did make money. I got a body count of 2. Count that, 2 on the screen. Casting notes, I wrote some down because there's really not much to work with as far as casting goes in this film. I know Nicholson was always Kubrick's first choice to play the role of Jack. Stephen King said that other actors were considered, but he disapproved of them. I know Robin Williams was one of them. Just found the guy just too much of a comedic actor. He was hot at the time doing Mork and Mindy on TV. Harrison Ford was another one, and Robert De Niro, who later on went on to say that the film gave him nightmares for a month. It's kind of ironic. We could jump into production notes, but that would be a whole other podcast episode in its own. And I don't really, have the notes right now because it's this was just an idea that was a spur of the moment thing. Didn't really plan this one out too much. We're just kind of winging it, having fun. It's The Shining. So notes. I'm just going to go down what I wrote in my notes going through this, and then you can share yours. How does that sound?
Okay.
You want to go first? How about you go first? You share your notes, I'll share my notes, and then we can do the questionnaire part.
I took a couple notes. I actually filled 2 papers. So yeah, I did. I wrote down Jack hasn't had alcohol in 5 months, the main things and stuff I want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
The important things how Dick tells Danny about The Shining and about what's going on with that. Then I have questions.
We'll get to that. Hold off on the question part. So, if you had any, did you have more notes, or was it mainly just questions you want to ask?
No, actually I have 3 questions, but it's mainly just actual notes. And I have there's cool shots, the beginning, like you said.
Oh, I love that shot. I love that shot so much, and just watching it with this new 4K restoration, it's a work of beauty.
And then besides questions, I really just have stuff I wanted to get into, like about the Shining, like
Okay.
scenes. So,
All right. Well, then I'll go down my notes then real quick. I mean, my first thing I wrote in all caps, bold lettering. God damn, this 4K transfer. The best I've ever seen this film look. And then I was just kind of like, stupid self notes. I put room 237. What is it? The something that I acknowledged when we were watching it. That audio track when Danny's riding his 3-wheeler around the lobby, and as he's going through with the carpet, how it gets all soft and the sound just mutes. I just love it. I can't say always, but yeah, since I've I've learned to appreciate this film, that's always stood out. That soundtrack, it's great. The sound effects, the sound design, I love it. The model, the model overview transition shot, the hedge maze, where it goes from the model to Danny and Wendy walking. I love that shot. That's probably one of my favorite couple shots. Top 3, definitely a top 3 favorite shot of this movie. And I just put down white man's bourbon, my man. White man's bourbon. And then I wrote down a quote from Madilyn. He reminds me of the Joker for some reason. I wonder why.
it was the smile that made me think it was the Joker. It's the smile that gets me.
And then I put in here so many different analyzations, ambiguities, interpretations, and literary allusions. I don't even know where to start. Like I said earlier, or a couple minutes ago, like that's an entire episode on its own, And we're not that kind of a podcast, so for those of you who are looking for that episode, it's never going to happen. Never say never, but it's not happening anytime soon.
Maybe not with me, but.
And then I have long tracking shots. And then
Long shots. Yeah.
Huh?
This movie, there's a lot of long shots, definitely.
That's not a bad thing. Let's the two of us. Let's not make it sound like it's a bad thing, because it's not. It's just it's artistic. It's great. I love it. It's cinematography. It's like one of my favorite things of film.
It's really like beautiful long shots and stuff you wouldn't really see in movies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then I have on here, Danny Torrance, always one step ahead of always one step ahead of the game by making Jack, the way he makes Jack chase him into the hedge maze at the end, which, that's the ace in his hand right there, is because him and his mother spend like that whole movie, that damn movie, spending so much time in that hedge maze, it pays off in the end, and that's how he tricks his father, and which leads to his demise. And then Mad's take on the end, question mark. I'm curious what your take on the end is. The 1921 4th of July picture with Jack.
At first I didn't know if it was Jack, so I didn't say anything, because I wanted to know for a fact if it was him. And then you said something, and that's when I realized it's definitely him.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure you saw him, because there's so many people in that shot. But he's definitely front and center at the very bottom, though. I just wanted to make sure that you caught him. If you didn't, I was going to rewind.
Because what happened was, when they were zooming in on that picture, I knew someone we knew was supposed to be in it. That was important. So I started looking around, and I saw Jack. So he was the first person I really saw. Yeah. And it's like, they don't even show you taking that picture at that party. Like, they don't show that, so.
No, of course not. No, definitely.
It's like something you really have to look at to know.
Right. And then I just wrote down in my notes. This was kind of after the fact. I wrote this down in case it got brought up in discussion. The Overlook Hotel was the, the the Timberland Lodge in Oregon stood in for that hotel. I just wanted to make sure I had that written down for myself. That was mainly for me,
Mhm.
just to know things. That's all. Just to know things. Um. So okay, the questions. Let's dive into it then. Shoot.
So what I know, I have like 3 questions, and the first one I put down was
You could have 20. It wouldn't bother me.
the first one I thought of. The first thing was Wendy asks so many questions, and why does she do that? Like the whole movie, that's everything you hear is her just talking about questions and asking questions. But
I honestly don't. That's something. I love that you're noticing things like that. And that's kind of another reason why I wanted to show you this. It's kind of more or less of a test to see, like, well, let's see if she can really notice things. And I'm not gonna lie, kid, you definitely pulled one off on me. I definitely exceeded my expectations as far as this film goes. Um, and that being said, I don't know because to be honest with you, I myself have never noticed that before.
yeah, because
Not,
all you really hear her say, you don't really hear her talk, and if she is, she's yelling at Jack, or she's asking a million questions, or she's screaming. You don't hear her have a full-on calm conversation besides the beginning.
right.
At the beginning, she has like a conversation with the doctor, but she doesn't really. That's like the only thing you really hear her talk calmly about. You don't.
Well, I just think it's maybe the fact it has to do with the fact that the Wendy Torrance character's been through a lot. You
Hmm.
know, we are given a backstory um, discussed throughout the film. One of the key matters, like you just said, or instances, is when she's talking to the doctor, explaining what happened to Danny and the separated arm or shoulder, um, and Jack's alcoholism. I'm sure she went through a lot with that.
Hmm.
Anytime you're dealing with anyone with an addiction or disease in general like that,
That's hard.
it's tiresome, you know.
Hmm.
It and it makes you question things and question reality sometimes. Maybe it goes with the theme of the movie with sanity and stuff, like
Like
that.
if you think about it, it's what was I saying?
We're talking about Wendy and her million
Yeah,
questions.
it's like, oh, in like 3 or like 2.5 months, she's been through all like so much. It's like just imagine you going through that, not even knowing what's going on, like half the time. Like it's all just happening, and you just have to think, and it's
She's strong. She may not show it. She may appear to be weak, but no, she's definitely not weak in my eyes. She may seem or come off as weak in certain moments, but I think
yeah.
Wendy Torrance is a strong, independent woman
There's
who can
things
hold her own.
right away,
Right.
and like she has to think right away, and she can do that, and she gets tired, but it
Yeah,
doesn't.
I think she's great. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. My apologies. What were you saying?
Not bad. I didn't. No, I stopped right as you started talking.
Well, that was
I,
rude of me. What were you saying?
I don't know. I wasn't saying anything else.
Well, I think that Shelley Duvall did a hell of a job portraying Wendy in this. I don't. I can't compare it to the book. I've never read the book. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the book. I know the book has key differences from the movie. Um, but as far as what those are, like there's things like um, Dick Halloran, for example, in the book he survives.
Mhm.
Um, Jack isn't as dark. He's more likable in the book before he hits that downward spiral. Um, yeah, I'm not even gonna pretend to sit here and act like I know because I don't. I have not read the book. I'm just familiar with the movie, and I, yeah, I'm in the movies, not books. Yeah, nothing against. I don't know. I'm really
Mhm.
into reading too much. Plus, have you seen the Stephen King books? They're ginormous. So, I mean, it alone is like as thick as my fist. It's pretty deep. So, that's that on the book. Next question, perhaps we can get to
That's
that.
really exciting. We already really answered this. It's why is Wendy so scared? But we kind of already answered that. She's scared because she's been going through all this, and she's not really like scared, but
No, I want to know. I know exactly what you're talking about, and I did. I told you to write that down because I did want to go into that for a second. It has to do with production, actually, and so the director Stanley Kubrick. He's no longer with us. He passed away 21 years ago, unfortunately. But he was one of the finest, or is still not in a literal sense, but he's the best, one of the best of the best of the best of the best as far as filmmakers go, kiddo. If there's like a holy grail of all-time greatest filmmakers, he'd be on there. I oh god, I mean, personally, I'd throw definitely Paul Thomas Anderson up there. Um, Probably Michael Mann for personal reasons. And the other one, probably either De Palma or Scorsese. So that's just me spitting in the dark as far as filmmakers go. But Kubrick, what I'm getting at is Kubrick is just amazing. And this movie, he didn't do too many movies because his movies were always big in a sense. Like he was known for his long, hauling, grueling productions. And this is kind of what I'm getting at. Why is the point of this is she looks tired on screen because she literally is. The scene with her on the stairwell with the baseball bat swinging at him, and he's slowly walking up the steps at the end, like talking with the axe. I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains in. That
yeah.
that was filmed 127 times.
Oh, wow.
That's the legend. 127 times, and that was Kubrick's style. Like he kept on doing. He was known for numerous ridiculous takes because he just wanted to break you down and make you tired to get you into it and make you feel it more and more. And I don't know. It depends on who you ask if it works if it works or not. You know, not too many people have worked with Kubrick that are still around because, like I mentioned, he passed away in '99. His last film came out in '99, which was Eyes Wide Shut. And prior to that, he hadn't done a film since, I think, '87, which was Full Metal Jacket.
Mm-hmm.
And the film before that was this, 1980, The Shining.
Yeah.
So, man's known for long, grueling productions. That's why Shelley Duvall looks tired, because she is. Next question.
The last one I have is, I bring this up for when we were watching this. It's like Stewart said the I keep
That's his
forgetting
name. You're right.
the twins they weren't twins, they were sisters, and one was 8 and one was 10. But then and then in the movie, as the movie goes on, they call them twins, and it's like they.
Okay. This is why you win. This is why I'm as proud as I am, because you notice things like that. Like, that is great. My hat to you, kiddo. Being the movie dork that I am, I could not be more prouder of you, right, than I am right now for picking up stuff like that. Now, there were other things. That's just Kubrick, for lack of a better word, fucking with his audience. Pardon my French. He's known for that too. Like, if you watch the movie again, and explain the chair that keeps on disappearing and reappearing during a certain take when Jack is talking to either, I can't remember if it was either Danny or Wendy. There's a chair in the background that when it cuts back out from the POV away from Jack, the chair is there in one shot. Cut to, cut back, it's gone. And it's never discussed or brought up, or, it's just subtle background things that hardcore fans pick up on. One more thing before you guys say what you were going to say, so I get this out and then you can talk more. In the beginning, when he's talking, when he's being interviewed, Jack, there's a window behind Stewart, and that window doesn't make sense physically, as far as the hotel dynamic, the order, and it doesn't belong. That window's been heavily discussed for years. Again, that's just something else. That's Kubrick. That's this movie for you. Why is that window there? It doesn't make physical sense. Just like the chair. Why the hell does the chair keep appearing and reappearing? Or disappearing and reappearing? So, that's that. You were saying?
There's this little thing that a lot of people would pay attention to, but some have caught on in The Shining. I found this on YouTube. That when Danny is actually brushing his teeth, and it's, there's that shot where it's zooming in, you'll see, how on the walls there's a lot of stickers?
Mm-hmm.
There's one of the, 7 dwarfs are on there, and then when there's another shot, when Danny's in his bedroom, it zooms in again, and the 7 dwarf isn't there anymore. So,
see? That's probably Kubrick messing with his audience for the diehard fans to pick up on. He's going to do stuff like that and not say a word. And he'll get by. Because
that's the thing I thought of, like, when I saw that, because I saw that on YouTube, so I was definitely paying attention to that.
Mm-hmm.
And people have assumed that he did it, like what you're saying, but other people say that one of the cast members said it just fell off and they couldn't put it back on.
But it just said screw it.
We can't put it back on. Maybe people won't realize it. So
you know what? They're both probably right.
Mm-hmm.
They both probably go together like peanut butter and jelly. So
it would definitely make
you're educating me. Even I didn't know that. Booyah. Alright, so next up, how's it aged? I think we know how this movie has aged. It has aged perfectly like a fine wine.
People still talk about
Yeah, I mean, look at me. People are listening to this and not watching, but I'm wearing my shining carpet shirt, I love this. I wanted to wear this today after I was like, I want to watch The Shining for my birthday. I'm also just going to wear my shining shirt because why not?
Speaking of the carpeting, there's a lot of designs in the movie that people won't realize. But in one of the rooms...
it's visually stunning. I agree.
Yeah. In one of the rooms, I forget, it might have been 237, but the carpeting and the bedding sheets, they both have designs.
The green and blue?
Yeah. And it's like, at first you think the carpet's going onto the bed. It's so many designs. It's
like a mind melt, like a visual mind melt. Wah, wah, wah. I wouldn't be surprised, you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Alright, so is there anything else in your notes on this? I mean, there's just so much to talk about. We could just talk for hours on this. It really is. It really, but I unfortunately, don't have all the time in the world because at some point I want to go out and actually celebrate my birthday. So I just wanted to make sure we got this and have a good time. And so far, I think it's our best episode yet. Do you have anything else on your notes? Oh yeah, you do. Go on.
There's you can tell that Jack's going crazier and crazier as time goes on because at some point after Jack was screaming Wendy came up to see if he was okay, and then Dan's coming out. Wendy comes up to him to put him into his room and all that, and then she sees that he has scratches all over him, like on his neck. Wendy blames Jack because of what happened in the past with Jack pulling, doing something
dislocating his arm.
So after that whole argument, Jack went to the ballroom, and then you could tell he was starting to see things. Because in the beginning...
Right, exactly. That's when he starts talking to Lloyd.
Yeah, because in the beginning, Stuart says, no one's going to be here, there's not going to be any drinks, so you'll have to bring your own. And next thing you know, there's drinks, so that's when you know that he's seeing things, and...
of course. No doubt. Absolutely.
And Wendy doesn't even realize it, but...
Yeah, Wendy's just trying to...
She's
just trying to be the best housewife she can be under the circumstances that they're living in for the next 5 months.
Yeah, she's trying to forget everything bad that's happening, but it keeps coming back.
And then you've got, like the whole character of Dick Halloran, just the whole time. They're just building up the duration of this already long movie. They're building up him coming. I'm coming for you. I'm going to come save the day. You think it's going to be a big moment when he finally gets to the Overlook, and he gets in there and he's yelling around, and nope, he's just picked off, axe to his chest. See ya.
Yeah, and then there's Danny and Wendy are playing in the snow, and Jack has like it zooms in on Jack, and he just has this smile and this crazy look on his face, and that's when you know his stuff is about to go down, because you can tell he's getting crazier and crazier, and he's just losing his mind at this point.
And Nicholson is just so damn good in that role. Like I can't imagine anybody else playing that. I can't imagine a De Niro playing Jack. I can't imagine a Harrison Ford. Definitely can't imagine a Robin Williams.
Wasn't he in Dr. Sleep? Like there was a scene of him in Dr. Sleep?
It's not him. It's another actor. Henry Thomas played him, and Henry Thomas was actually Elliot in the original E.T. But yeah, Henry Thomas played him in Dr. Sleep.
Yeah.
It wasn't actually Jack Nicholson hasn't made a film in 10 years. He's retired. He's in his 80s. He's happy with the rest of his life right now. He don't need to make any more movies. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He's been doing them since the 60s. So
I looked this up earlier, but the person who plays Dick actually died 6 years after The Shining got released.
Yeah, Scatman Crothers. He's been unfortunately he's been gone for a good while. Scatman Crothers, rest in peace. I have one more thing, and that is...
Oh, wait. No, I have one more. I remember you wanted me to write this down. I just saw I have another question.
Okay, cool. So,
this was an important question, too. I wasn't going to bring this up until I looked at it. Wendy, when she left the bathroom, she has a whole other outfit on. Hair's down. She has a robe on. And it's something you really have to pick up on. And you told me to write.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. That goes into what I was explaining about Kubrick earlier, and just things that he intentionally does to just... He's got to be screwing with his audience. But yeah, I mean, that's Kubrick. That's my answer to that. That's Kubrick, and that goes in perfectly with what I was talking about earlier about the Grady girls being 8 and 9, or mentioning that they're 8 and 9, but then them being twins. And you look at them, one's apparently supposed to be a little bit taller, and they're wearing slightly different outfits. But in real life, they're twins. They're real life twins. You know, I've met them before in real life. They are real people, real twins. That being said, let's get down to the end. Let's start to wrap this up. We had a really good episode. Double feature pairing.
Weird, I'm probably going to say Dr. Sleep, because I don't really know any other movies like The Shining. The Shining's definitely its own movie that you just have to have a second Shining to have a double pairing, in my opinion. Really, anything like that, it's gonna be Doctor Sleep.
Yeah, I mean that's nothing wrong with that. I mean that's I like to do that double feature one night. Absolutely. My double feature pairing, on the other hand, is a bit different. I wasn't going to go with the same as you, nor was I even going to think to go with Doctor Sleep because that was never my intention. Uh, so, going with the whole setting, theme of cabin fever and going stir crazy and whatnot, and being your job is to guard this. What I'm getting at is last year's film, The Lighthouse. And that is a film with Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson about two sailors in the 1800s who are assigned to guard a lighthouse. And it's just them two in the lighthouse. The film's in black and white. Came out last year, but it's filmed it's formatted, framed, and colored to make it look authentic. It's a great film. And just watching one of these days I'm going to do that. I'm actually going to watch The Shining and The Lighthouse together because just talking about it right now, I'm getting all, yeah.
Didn't you?
Myself. That's my double feature pairing.
Didn't you watch The Lighthouse recently? Because I'm pretty sure you either talked about it or you watched it recently. Because I've heard you talk about it for sure.
I haven't actually watched it recently. No, I've talked about it recently. Definitely. Yes. I know. What you're thinking of is I bought it. You were with me when I bought the Blu-ray a few weeks ago. Remember? Because it was on sale and I had that coupon on my Target app.
Yeah, I knew you talked about it recently.
You were with me. That's why it comes to mind. Because you were with me when I bought it a few weeks ago at Target. Because I said, "Ooh, it's got a pristine slipcover still."
Yeah.
So, and my dork self was all happy about that. So, all right. So that about wraps that up. That about wraps everything up. Normally this would be the part. Final thoughts. What did you think overall?
I liked it. It was.
How about this? Your father, personally, I have a 5-star rating system. Out of 5 stars, what do you give it? Honestly,
Probably
out of 5 stars.
4. It's not something like
4 out of 5 ain't bad, dude.
Yeah.
That's pretty rock solid. Rock solid, in my opinion.
I don't know if I did a 4. I feel like it would be something I'd watch again, but it wouldn't be like my whole new favorite movie like other movies I'd watch.
Well, there's still lots of movies for you to watch, so don't feel bad. We got a lot more to come. And with that being said, you already know what the next episode is. We announced it last episode, and that is Birds of Prey, or Harley Quinn. Birds of Prey, however you look at it. And the emancipation of one Harley Quinn, or something like that. Or, no, and the fabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn. So, that's that. That episode will be out later on this week. And so that's, dude, having a good day so far, and it's not even over. So, let's get out of here. What do you say we stop this and go celebrate some more? Because it's my birthday. Alright, guys, with that being said, we are out of here because I am what you are.
No, I'm Mad.
And I'm Dad. And this is Mad Dad Movie Review. Alright, guys, take care.